Good evening, and hope you're doing well. Hey, screw that. I'm bored with that. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, I'm Scott. That's Davion. That's Ryan. Sorry. How we doing? And welcome to Tales from the Film Set on Zingo TV, channel 249 and 250. Trust me, that was funnier in my head. Kindly remember to download the Zingo TV app on the app stores of iOS and Android. When you download, do me a favor, rate and leave a comment. Both apps are free. And lastly, Zingo TV is also available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Fire TV sticks, Roku sticks, and all smart TVs 2016 and forward. I'm so happy that basically for the rest of the time this video will be on these channels, that will be literally the first thing that people will see when they look at this episode. And then they'll be unsubscribing, blocking.
Jeez, just give our whole life away. Why don't you?
Exactly. So anyway, hope you guys are doing well out there. We're going to be talking about a few things today. We got Stranger Things Volume 2, I think is going to be on the horizon, maybe a little Ms. Marvel. I had a very curious quirk, and you know what? Maybe we'll start with that if you guys are cool with it. I had a situation last week where a social activist actually managed to shut down a film production that I was physically on. I can't, by definition, actually say what the production was. I can tell you guys privately. I can't really say where we were. Suffice it to say, it was not a suburban area, so leave that the way it is. But about 2 hours into filming outside this location, one person, by the way, who announced themselves as a social activist was going to straight up outright shut down the production that was filming there that day. It turns out in his particular case, and I'm curious to get your thoughts here, because of what's happening in the neighborhood that he's in and the city as a whole that he is in, the fact that film productions are not hiring local in this case when it comes to crew, even background, whatever it is, he was forcing the production to shut down. And he made, he was doing videos on the spot. He was sitting there, yelling at everybody, screaming, talking to everybody top to bottom, the directors, the celebs, everybody like that. And after about 40 minutes of this went by, production packed up and left. And I was a little surprised to see that this was going to happen. He got what he wanted that day. But I have some thoughts and some questions about whether or not this is actually going to be good for that location long term. And also, I want, like I said, get your thoughts as well. The one thing I'm going to say before I turn it over to you guys is one of the things that he said was in his neighborhood the night before, there were in fact 2 homicides. I can't say for sure, but I would say it'd be certainly plausible for what it is. But Day, let me start off with you. Do you like the idea? Do you not like the idea? Give me some thoughts.
It's better ways to handle it. I'm not going to be all liberal on this one, but he has a right to do what he did. But it did interfere with production. But there's ways to go about it. And he could have just said, look, I'm going to have to go to City Hall and protest this because I feel as though there's not enough of minorities getting the job opportunities besides just, I'm going to be an activist and protest this. It is your right, but at the same time, there are other ways to handle this. There are other ways to handle it. You could have went to City Hall and made a complaint and told them, look, I've been trying to apply and nobody gave me an opportunity. Simple as that.
Ryan?
Well, I mean, are we talking under the assumption that he hadn't gone through all those different channels, that he hasn't tried those things prior, and that this was like the last straw for him, or was this his initial first instinct?
I don't know. But
Yeah,
let's just say for argument's sake that he didn't go through the proper way that Dee was just talking about. That he just showed up one day, I'm pissed off, I'm going to go.
I mean, the way the industry has been in the last couple of years because of the pandemic and because of all the new regulations that have been going on, it has made getting into work a little bit harder. You would want to think that everything's running roughshod right now and everyone's just trying to get out as much production as possible post-pandemic. But the fact of the matter is, it is now a little bit trickier. It's not as easy as just getting the call the night before and saying, hey, you're on. There's different things you have to go through now, especially when it comes to testing too.
Right.
And to go ahead and say that you're feeling like you're left out, it's not as uncommon to hear nowadays than it may have been in the past. So I can say that I do feel for the guy. Now, under any circumstance, is it the right idea to go to the place where they're filming, like any layperson or any fan would probably do, and start messing things up? No, no, under any circumstance. If it was a fan that was just
Mhm.
screaming too loud, they would tell the fan, "Hey, please be quiet on set."
Mhm.
If it was somebody going ahead and trying to sell knockoff merchandise, they'd kick the guy out of there.
Mhm.
You know, this even though you are shooting on location and it's not on a sound set and it's not in an enclosed environment, there is still like just a whole buffer, and it is up for the production to go ahead and keep that buffer maintained. And unfortunately, this is one that just kind of like slipped through the cracks.
Mhm.
Right.
But I think it's also one that if there were more than one people, then I think you should take notice. I think this is just more of like a case of one singular isolated person that just maybe made too much noise. But if they had like a group of people together with them and they were doing this, yeah, take notice.
I mean, I'll be honest. I saw no problem with the guy personally, but what was interesting is a lot of the people that were there and a lot of like the background and like the stand-ins, not crew, because the crew has seen some weird stuff, but a lot of the BG were convinced that this guy was going to kill them all. I was talking to one lady, and she's like, "He's crazy. This guy is going to kill us all." And it's like, no, he is just an impassioned guy, that's tired of seeing the crap in his neighborhood.
Right.
I didn't blame him for the fact, but she kept going at us. No, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about, because apparently the background were so convinced that he was going to basically attack them. And my thought process was that would be 100% counterproductive to what he's trying to do.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you become the aggressor, you have lost all credibility with the people you're trying to influence. Now, if they actually attacked him, then obviously his points go way up through the north. The police could not legally touch him either. By the way, I should mention this. This was in a public place. And by law, when it comes to filming in a public place, you cannot forcibly push someone off unless they are getting violent or anything like that. The dude was, but he wasn't violent. So as a result, you cannot physically put a finger on this guy in a public place. And that includes the police department too. So he is allowed to be there, and he's allowed to be as noisy as he wants, as long as he maintains proper distance from everyone involved, and as long as basically his language doesn't get foul or whatever the deal was. And to his credit, he never used obscenities. He did talk about what was going on. You could tell this was a dude who really, really felt for what was going on. And he's talking about how Lionsgate is $100 million, production around the neighborhood, and all this kind of stuff, but they're not hiring local. They're busing people in this case from New York. It wasn't in New York City. I'll throw that out there.
Yeah.
But they were busing people in from New York City and not hiring local. So you guys mentioned the fact that the problem exists in COVID. Yes, in the film industry, you have to be COVID vaxxed and boosted in the New York City area. Other places, other parts of the country, you don't have to as much. Here, you still do. So that does become a problem in that regard if they're not vaxxed and boosted. But could you see something like this? Let me put it this way. Ronald, this is you first. Could you see something like this, A, forcing things in the direction that he wants, or B, forcing things away from it because people may actually talk behind the scenes and be like, stay away from this location. This guy is here.
Again, it comes down to the problem of it being just one guy. Like, if it was like a peaceful protest and he had a lot of people behind him, and it wasn't maybe just for this particular project, but if just projects in general in the area have been ignoring local talent for one reason or another, then yeah, absolutely take notice. But unfortunately, since it's just one guy doing his thing, it's going to be written off. People are just going to be like, oh, he's crazy. You can't say that about 20 people all en masse. But if it's one person, then you can say whatever you want about him because you don't know him. No one else knows him. And, he, like you said, they thought he was going to come and kill them. I'm like, have we really gotten to this point where just because any random person happens to show up someplace, they're automatically gun-toting? It's not a good look. But, unfortunately, that's the problem with a single individual. A single individual by themselves, under their own power, can go ahead and do anything, good or bad, and you just don't know. So all they say and anything they do, you have to take with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So, I mean, like I said, I guess we'll close out on this one question. Do you think I suspect that the film productions are probably having conversations behind the scenes and letting other ones know this happened here. It might happen to you, in which case that might hurt the location that this was being filmed in, possibly the town as a whole, because that's not the reputation the town itself wants, even, especially when they're getting paid like that.
Right. I'm going to say this. You are going to have a few knuckleheads, and I'm just going to be honest. Like,
that's a polite
Thank you,
way
Governor
of
Phil
saying it.
Murphy.
Yeah, I'm going to be the Phil Murphy of the group. You're going to have a few knuckleheads, but it's not he's not the representation of that particular town, and that's what they have to realize. So of course they're going to have talks with the mayor, talks with the production companies behind the scenes, say, "Yo, this is what happened." And they're probably going to deal with the individual. They're probably going to talk to him and say, "Look, nothing for nothing. This is to help our city. But if you felt that way, why didn't you come to my office or set up an appointment? If you felt that way, because my thing is, we're doing this to help the city. We're not doing this to better us. We're doing this to better everybody that's in the arts. So, one person that does something crazy does not show a representation of everybody in that particular.
True indeed. We've talked about that before, but
I'm just imagining them doing it like the mafia, where they're just like strong arming the guy. It's like, don't ruin this for us.
Basically, yeah. And like I said, it surprised me, but it worked because this whole thing, you could tell this guy was not going to move. You could tell that this guy was not going to get paid off or anything like that. It was basically his way, or he's, getting arrested and pulled out of there. And he got it done, and production left. They had other stuff they had to shoot inside, but it was kind of impressive that one dude was able to do that.
Yeah, it's more like dream deterred. It's like they still had other stuff to do. It was no big deal for them to go ahead and move inside as opposed to outside. It doesn't mean the work's not going to get done.
Yeah,
they're just going to have to be quicker paced about it. So this way they make sure there's no interference. That's all it means for them. Doesn't really change anything but the timetable.
Right.
Sure. And I think for the most part, when this guy showed up, they were already on the turnaround, so they had a few good angles anyway. It was a long scene, but I think the editors can fix this. I think the editors can get around it in this one scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
those
probably
four magic words. Fix it in post.
Oh God. How often do I say those words to myself? It's like, I'll get to it later. And then I look at it later. It's like, I hate you.
We may not be able to swear on this show, but I can say some things that will make people cringe, at least in the industry.
And it's funny because when I do that to myself and I look at it later, it's like, I hate you, Pat Scott. I really hate you right now. And I got some stuff I got to do later. It's like, I'm gonna hate Pat Scott. I really am. But all right. So, any final thoughts, gentlemen, before we move on?
No.
Continue.
All right. So this, of course, is Tales from the Film Set. And now that we did some tailing from the film set, we're going to move on to That Sexy Mo. That, of course, is Vecna, the honestly kind of genius freaking character from Stranger Things Season 4. The second part of the series is coming out on Friday. Ryan, you and I have talked about the possibility of catching that on Friday, basically as part of a live stream. Still working the kinks out in that regard. But
yeah, we don't know if you're doing it during the day or during the night. I personally want to do it at midnight when it releases, so this way it's nice and scary. But people have to understand, we're talking about almost 4 hours worth of content. So if you're going to do it, you got to be in for the long haul.
And this basement is scary.
I'm doing it with the lights out and just like red lighting behind me. I'm good.
Child.
Yeah, no, I'm a wuss. I think we established that already.
Sorry.
All right, that's okay. So, small spoilers, I guess, in this regard. Honestly, I like the way that the first half ended. We actually, I was going to say, well, hang on a sec. Let me just do something real quick. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. Do you like the design of Vecna right now? Do you think he's pretty?
You mean as a fleshy tentacle monster man?
Yes, and that doesn't involve some kind of weird, like, Japanese hentai. Since you talk about the tentacle monsters.
He is interesting. How else you want me
Continue.
to? I will have to say.
There. I
Here's
had to put that part at the bottom there, so now we can officially talk about spoilers.
Here's very interesting. I will say in a very scarlet and sophisticated way.
Yes.
Not in a nightmare way, but more look right behind you, he's there.
Well, see, fortunately, I have the camera, so I can see what's behind me. And I know I'm relatively safe. I can't see what's behind the couch though, so maybe there is something down there.
So that's what type of message I'm getting from
why are you talking like the Germans are?
I have no idea.
Is he creepy monster man?
Yeah, I'm about to say this show has Russians, not Germans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're going to go like this, comrade.
But short version is basically, and by the way, spoilers be coming. Vecna, as often as he is, actually is one. So he was the original child that was used for the research by the military CIA. So 11 was 11. This dude was 1. So it all centers around the flashback that happened in the distant past of 1979, 7 years before this this current season's taking place. And I don't know. I kind of hope he lives through into season 5. I kind of don't want to see him die in season 4.
Interesting.
No, I kind of want to see him die.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, because the thing you have to understand is the Duffers originally saw this as a 4-season show. They're squeezing a 5th season out of it. So I don't know if that means they're going to have like a shortened season or if they're just going to use something to wrap up. Here's the thing. If you get rid of Vecna, there's still the entire Upside Down. That's an issue. It's been an issue for the past 3 seasons. So all the more reason that the 5th and final season should focus on that and not so much focus on whether or not Vecna is still around.
That is true. It is a complete other world. I mean, they've only dealt with the Upside Down in Hawkins. They haven't dealt with the Upside Down in like scenic New Jersey where we are.
Well, I mean, we don't know if it necessarily stretches out that far.
I presume it's the entire planet.
It could be. And this is just like the first like stopgap in the whole circuit of places where they could open up. But I think in order for there to be any kind of proper conclusion in the 5th season, you need to tie up some loose ends here in the 4th. And that means you have to tie up this loose end of 11's history. That's why they brought back Matthew Modine. That's why you're showing that this was the first one who's all power hungry and twisted. He got nerfed. He was caged like a dog by the Institute because they knew how messed up he was. And that needs to be put to bed. It can't be hindering on 11 and the facility forever. You have to go above and beyond.
You don't say.
Well, I mean, here's what I'm wondering in this case. If you may have something there, but my question is, do you think actually if they do tie this out, they're going to do a 5th season? They talked about doing spin-offs as well. Is it going to be something where they might have a time jump? Because now, my voice just cracked. These kids in real life have aged 6 years, but in the show, about 2.5. So do you end up having some kind of a time jump where you push it into the distant future of, say, 1990, which would be, I guess if I figured it out right, for the kids, their graduation day for when they graduate high school. Maybe you put your time jump it out a little bit and see what happens to finalize the season.
I wouldn't be against a time jump and set them at graduation because, I mean, I have to believe that at some point, whatever is happening to them in real life has to be just as climactic as something happening with the Upside Down. You don't do this in your sophomore year and then just live on 2 years in high school like nothing happened. All right. Exactly. There's got to be some sort of like life-changing event, some changing of the guards, some sort of, experience that takes you out of childhood. These kids have been out of childhood for God knows how long. Regardless, ever since the one boy missing, these kids have not lived a normal kid-like life.
That is true.
Now, I want to see the end of that childhood and see them go on to live adult lives. Kind of like in a Harry Potter sort of sense.
Like I could agree with Ryan on this because you can't just end the season with them like he said. Like they got 2 years of high school. Like you gotta basically maybe college you could end it. Like maybe like they did with pay homage to that film The Breakfast Club in a sense. Like don't you
too, I think.
Don't you forget about me. Suppose they did that.
Right, strike now.
Ryan's not laughing. Why?
I'm not laughing. No.
Yeah.
But
I thought it was cute.
But I would like to see like some of the more spread off parts actually culminate and come together. Like I want to see those two kids get together and sing Never Ending Story face to face. And the one hippie dude, the pizza delivery dude, I want him to get back with the girl's sister. All right, that was a cute couple. But
that was cute, wasn't it?
To show that there is more to this planet, to this reality that they've created other than Hawkins. Where they started doing that with this season and going to Russia and going to California. Keep it going. Keep going further. And on a high note.
Well, like you said, you have an opportunity there. So maybe, who knows, maybe there is an upside down in California or Nevada. I mean, basically all this stuff is taking place.
There's always been an upside down.
Somewhere in Nevada, I think it was, wasn't it?
I said always been an upside down in Jersey.
Yeah, it's called South Jersey.
Yeah. Not Central. That's not a thing. That's like limbo.
Yeah. The Jersey Devil, he just came through a hole himself,
That is true.
Have you ever heard about the story of the Jersey Devil?
That's
enough times.
Well, see that, it's funny.
Oh, y'all got scared. Sorry, guys.
Dude, we got a hockey team that's named after that. Which a lot of the rest of the country is like, why would you name it after a satanic thing? It's like, nope, it's not Satan.
We didn't say the Jersey Devil. We said the new Jersey Devils.
Exactly.
See the difference? I can't even believe that.
But it's funny.
I mean, what else were we going to call ourselves, really? The
Nets
New
were
Jersey
called
Mobsters.
Swamp Dragons. The Nets were almost called that.
The Springsteens. Like, what?
That could work. The Bon Jovis versus the Springsteens. And then over there,
come on down.
You're the next millions of dollars.
Price is Right.
Yes. So, by the way, can I point out that for The Price is Right, Drew Carey has been the host of that for now 15 years.
Yep.
He took over in 2007. Bob Barker, to credit, is still alive. And still getting those.
And we have the same birthday.
What's that?
Good man.
Say it again.
We have the same birthday.
Oh, y'all have the same birthday? Wow.
Yeah. I got to meet him at the Stress Factory years ago.
Nice. I share a birthday with Bilbo and Frodo Baggins. Aren't I lucky?
I don't know who shares a birthday with me. And I'm kind of scared to find out.
Oh, let's see. Let's do.
But anyway, as far as Vecna is concerned, since I really didn't say much about his look or anything, it is an interesting look because you can definitely see certain horror elements that he was inspired by. Obviously, with the one extra long hand, there's a Freddy Krueger-ness to him, invading the minds of people. There's definitely a Resident Evil sort of look to him, like Nemesis, with the all flesh sort of appeal to him. And yet there's also a psycho killer sort of feel.
Jessica said.
He's not crazy, zany, or angry. He's very calm, cool, collected, almost intimidating in that sense, because he doesn't really have to say or do much. Whatever he does, it just works. Even when he's being lifted up by all those tentacles, looking like a Spider-Man, or hentai.
I was a Doc Ock who worked there.
Yeah, there's just something almost, I don't want to say satanic, but certainly something cultish or
Mhm.
of that nature. Like he's almost got like a Manson sort of feel to him.
It's hard to believe it's been a month since actually this season came out.
Mm.
Damn,
But
time
it's
flies.
nice that they have actually gone ahead and added like a human form, because otherwise the villains that we've gotten have either been, gangly Tom Jones looking Doug Jones, not Tom Jones, Doug Jones, looking CGI monsters, or essentially a walking, crawling pile of smoke, which is something from Lost.
And what's nice about this one, unlike other previous seasons, is this one is physically smaller than the rest. I mean, you look at the Demogorgon, you look at, whatever, the Shadow Beast, Shadow Monster. You see
The
them,
Mind Flayer.
Mind Flayer. God, I drew a blank on that. Good. But you see that, and then you see him, and he's smaller, and I like that. It's a nice touch, I think. But we'll see what happens on Friday.
Yeah.
Davion is down for this. Ryan, I'm sorry I'm putting you on the spot. You want to give a shot to Jeopardy since we haven't done that in a while?
Sure. Jeopardy.
I'm sorry, what?
Last, let's let everybody talk. He's thinking. Listen, if you don't want to do it, I can find something else. It's okay.
Oh yeah, they basically came down to looking for they close enough to basically finding a permanent Jeopardy host.
Mm-hmm.
They're not sure who. They're not telling who. But my theory is it's going to be the lady from what's that movie? What's that show?
Maya Bialik has been doing it of late.
The
I
one
thought she was out of the running too. She took herself out.
I was watching a few episodes the last couple of weeks, and it's been Maya Bialik. So I don't know. I mean, I thought maybe actually, maybe she got it. Did somebody actually get it?
And a lot of people are not happy. Like they're assuming it's her, but it could be anybody. It could even be the guy from Reading Rainbow.
That's what I wanted.
No. LeVar Burton has taken himself out of the running.
He did?
That's definitely for sure. They did that like months ago.
Butterfly in the sky. I can toss this high.
Yes,
really just make it Ken Jennings. Just make it a former winner.
No,
that's the thing. Like Alex Trebek, he pretty much made his name on that show.
Yeah,
and it was simply due to his legitimacy as a host.
Okay?
Wait, repeat that. Repeat it. What'd you say, Scott?
He made it on Starcade. Okay, the video, the game show where kids were playing arcade games like Donkey Kong and Dragon's Lair.
Yeah,
before there was Nick Arcade.
Yeah, I remember that too. Because I'm old.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like Alex Trebek wasn't like a celebrity going into the show. He wasn't one of those guys that's like he brought some sort of name recognition. He made his name on that thing. He developed his persona and his charisma through that show. So I would personally prefer somebody who will be able to just give a certain amount of gravitas intellectually and doesn't necessarily need the star power to drive everything.
Yeah, but the problem is basically if they don't have a star power, they don't have an Instagram following.
Yeah.
I mean, even some of the local projects that I see here, it's, please let us know how many Instagram followers you have, because they want to know how many people you can plug our product to.
But their main audience doesn't even know what Instagram is.
It doesn't matter, dude. It's one of those things that you can attract a brand new audience.
They still think Facebook is too modern.
Dude, you know what? Let's just take this as an idea here, just as a random thing. The artist, H-E-R, Gabrielle Wilson, I think her name is.
Yeah.
Her Instagram following is obscene, obviously. If she actually hosts Jeopardy, all of those people that are all in her age group of like tweens to like say 25 are suddenly going to be starting to watch Jeopardy for her. So Jeopardy is no longer the Gen X and Boomer, show. It is millennials too. And you open up so much more. And trust me, the mouse ears are looking at this. So, yeah, unfortunately, while you're dead right, while Alex Trebek Jeopardy became what it is because of Alex Trebek and not like the predecessors before him. But I think if Alex Trebek were competing today, he wouldn't win because he doesn't have the social following.
He's right. He's
It
right.
sucks. It sucks, but it is.
He's right. Because think of it, the reason why Alex Trebek was who he was because he was a household name.
Mm-hmm.
If it's now with the Gen Zs and the millennials and
Millennials.
yeah, people that have a social media following, the person that would definitely get it would be like, what's his name? One of the brothers that be like boxing and stuff and wrestling.
Jake or Logan Paul. One of them has a fight
Yeah.
coming up, I think in August.
Like picture them running a Jeopardy show.
See, here's the one thing. I can agree with what you're saying, but here's the one caveat to that. In order for people to go ahead and bring all those eyes to that show, they have to watch it on ABC. How many Gen Z millennials do you know still have terrestrial television, let alone cable?
It's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu.
Exactly. It's on Hulu. It's next day. People aren't sitting around 7 o'clock in the evening from Monday through Friday to watch it unless they are people that have nowhere to go. Otherwise, senior citizens.
But what about YouTube TV and things like that?
YouTube TV.
Is YouTube TV still a thing? I mean, they just finished up the YouTube Originals program.
YouTube sends me messages like, "Do you want to sign up?" No.
YouTube TV still a thing.
Dude,
exactly. Not only that, and it comes on at a certain time. Like it is a time frame where it's like 7 o'clock p.m. It's not like you're.
Mind you, I jokingly make this point, knowing that the time we went on today is the same time that there's Jeopardy.
Right.
We are essentially competing with that. By now, we're into Wheel of Fortune time, but still.
Well, see, that's another one too. I mean, Pat Sajak's been doing that for so long himself.
You're right.
Vanna White, I mean, she still got it, but
But see, Pat Sajak. Here's the thing: nobody remembers when Pat Sajak walked away for a while and did his own show. And I forget his name, but there was a guy. The guy who was the place kicker for the San Diego Chargers. It's killing me right now. He actually took over for Pat Sajak for like 6 months, and their ratings just plummeted.
Right, because chances are the guy had some sort of star appeal, but he probably wasn't good on the show.
He was a little rough.
Yeah. Now, if you had gotten somebody like, I mean, who's another big name in game show broadcasting, other than Chuck Woolery, because Chuck Woolery.
Howie Mandel.
I was gonna say Alan. If you want to go back far enough, Alan Ludden. I think he was married to Betty White for all those years.
Or Howie Mandel. Howie Mandel.
Howie Mandel would work for what? Crud, Deal or No Deal.
Right. You see the game shows they have now. It's like you've got Steve Harvey doing Family Feud. You've got
that dude's been doing almost
Alec Baldwin hosting
Wayne Brady.
Match Game.
Wayne Brady has Let's Make a Deal, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx has Beat Shazam.
I don't know.
I think the first time I've seen a game show on television that had a host that I did not recognize, it's that new one that's coming out this summer with people with those huge stacks of things, and you have to pull it. It looked like a giant Jenga thing, and they have to not have the tower fall. I don't know who's hosting that. It's some lady. I've never seen it before in my life.
Tracy McGrady from the Magic. It was some show he had on.
Tracy McGrady did something?
Not Tracy McGrady, the basketball player, the Orlando Magic player.
You got him. You got Penny Hardaway, possibly. Shaq. Well, why isn't I'm surprised Shaq's not hosting a game show at this point.
The way he talks, the game would go on for an hour, and it's only supposed to be 20 minutes.
Wait. I should talk. I can't talk about Shaq. I can't because he'll see this and he'll say something.
Here's the rules of the game.
See, you can say
25 minutes later. Okay, now we're going to round one. It's like it would take too damn long.
And Jason, to tell her, here's Charles Barkley. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. That was a terrible spin.
That was a terrible spin. I'm just going to let you know it's a terrible. I could be Barkley. I could be him. Yeah.
Oh God. I mean, yeah. This
is why this is the film and TV show and not the sports show.
Oh God, we actually funny we never even talked about that. We could talk about that too. When the Equalizer is done, I could definitely see Queen Latifah do it. I think she would actually probably be really good too.
Wheel of Fortune.
Either or, yeah. You know what? Let's say Wheel of Fortune, or if they do yet another pyramid, or what was the one that Leslie Jones did?
Supermarket Sweep.
Oh God, that was tough.
That was tough.
I hated that. Hey, listen, I remember the original one with that weird little dwarfy guy, that weird little 5 foot tall dude.
The one with the sweater vest all the time.
The one with the sweater vest, yeah, that dude.
I always watched that show like it was a religion. Like that, like every time I stayed home from school, that was the show I watched.
It was a unique concept, yes, but now no one likes going to the supermarket.
That's why, yeah. Well,
it depends. Well, 4th of July coming, so you're gonna have people running and trying to grab all the meat.
No, but that's why we got shows like Wipeout or Holy Moly. We prefer seeing people injured or getting thrown into water.
Truth be told, I hated Holy Moly. I could not get. There was also, wasn't there The Floor is Lava on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yes, that's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, see, that's.
But I love Holy Moly. Oh man, Rob Riggle and Joe Tessitore. Like, that is a duo that I never thought would work. Now I want them to host everything that ABC has. I want them to work the Olympics if they can.
Different network, that's NBC.
Then that means a big pie out, just pay the man, rent him for a few weeks.
Well, I was going to say, who would be able to basically do it, who could do the Olympics that from like NBC side? Well, I was going to say Howie Mandel. He's tied to NBC, I think, right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's Deborah Missing doing with NBC these days?
Oh, The Rock.
Or John
Stewart. Spartan Games, wasn't it?
Yeah. He had American did he do American Gladiators?
No. He did something that was like American Gladiators.
Can I just say, for the record, as somebody who was raised on the original U.S. American Gladiators, the British one is undoubtedly better.
I never saw the British one.
Dude, it's on YouTube. Check it out. The energy is there. It's funny. In the U.S. one, you can actually see like cardboard cutout of fans there in attendance. In that one there, they packed the stadium with like 25,000 large. They got Queen music going. They got basically like Scorpions rock you like a hurricane. They had so much energy in British Gladiators that I'm like, oh my God, this is so far and away better than what we had in the States.
Well, the United Kingdom in general, it's all soccer hooligans. You get those guys, you put them up against something where there's going to be violence. Yeah, it's going to make money.
I was at the Union NYCFC game the other day. One of the trainers got a suspension and can't play in the next game because the trainer for the Union got into a shoving match with a New York City player. Nice. The athletic trainer who was tending to one of his players on the ground got into a shoving match with the opposing team. This is soccer, by the way. A sport that, no joke, once was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize.
And if I heard correctly, we're supposed to be getting the World Cup here in a few years.
We did, 2026.
Yeah.
So.
So get used to the fact it's going to be crowded as hell here because MetLife Stadium is going to be loaded with it.
Yeah.
They're not building a whole new stadium or something for it?
They're bouncing it around. So they got it here. They've got, LA, Dallas, Philadelphia, a few places. So they're hitting it in certain spots depending on basically who's playing where. But
the big game is happening at MetLife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
going to be selling t-shirts.
Wait. Can I say one thing, guys?
Please.
Jersey is no longer the gutter state of all the states now.
According to soccer, it's basically being played in New York.
Oh my God, not the WWE thing again.
Oh yeah, dude, it's still the way it's going.
I forget that I just said that.
We are a state. We are not a borough of New York.
Or Pennsylvania. If you head down to South Jersey, it's a borough of Philadelphia. But yeah, no, it's going to be interesting because I remember a few years ago when we were talking sports on this side, whatever. But I remember when the Super Bowl was at East Rutherford, they had this whole long-winded thing. I think it was Rob Riggle. And it was this whole long thing about, the city of New York, Empire State Building, this. And then the governor of New Jersey was like, dude, it's in New Jersey. That's like part of the Fox segment to remind people, oh, yeah, we still exist. You actually play sports here.
He's right. Because
Yeah.
it's like you're in Jersey. You ain't crossed the bridge. You
Yeah.
ain't crossed the pond, okay?
There is a difference in smell, I promise you.
Dude, I've actually
There is. I agree. There is. I have to agree.
there is a certain scent that exists in many parts of Queens, Bronx, and Brooklyn that I'm happy that my suburban little area does not have. And I don't mean things that are 420 related. I mean things that come from eating a little too much Taco Bell. You know, I have looked down on the ground and I could not define the species of the excrement I was looking down at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I'll
can
be in the
tell
Bronx
whether-
tomorrow for a COVID test, by the way. I want to point that out.
On that fascinating, smelly note, was there anything else that we wanted to get into? Because I figured since we only have about like maybe 15 minutes left,
we're not going to do Jeopardy tonight. We're not going to have time for that. So, Ryan, if you're trying to, congratulations, you did. So,
yeah, we should.
Oh no, because
talk
considering the bomb I dropped on you last week, putting you on the spot to pick out movies for Father's Day.
Yes, and basically summer movies.
Oh yes,
right, and especially considering that this coming week we do have the 4th of July, and we being from New Jersey, we are one of the original 13 colonies. So if you're going to celebrate the birth of this unfortunately god-awful country the way it is right now, you got to remember when it had good times. Movies will do that.
Right.
Dynamite.
So I was wondering if anyone had any particular 4th of July movies. Not necessarily the ones that happen on the 4th of July, not things that necessarily have fireworks or are patriotic, but the 4th of July, as far as cinemas are concerned, always had like a nice batch of big banger movies. You know, I can remember back when Will Smith was the king of 4th of July.
And that's what
he came out with another.
Wait, I'm going to intervene in a 3 seconds. Do you think Independence Day basically made him the 4th of July guy, or?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
That was the first one. Remember, he had 3 movies in like 4 years. 96, 97, and 99, where he had movies that were in that area. Because he had Independence Day, Men in Black 1, and then Wild Wild West.
Which was the start of the downfall. But
then also,
still, it made money regardless.
Then also had Men in Black 2, which is also 3 years 3 years after Wild Wild West, but also in that weekend. That was July 3rd.
Right. And then they still kept on trying to make movies. Wasn't Hancock also a 4th of July film?
Could have been.
No. Okay. So here's the listings of all the 4th of July films, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we had to start with Independence Day Resurrection.
Well, okay, that was the
regurgitation,
ridiculously unnecessary sequel that they made a few years ago.
And I was curious to see more of them, to see where they went with it.
Next film, Grown Ups.
Okay.
We were talking about summer films last week, and that pretty much falls right in there. You get like this whole gaggle of SNL alumni, all of Adam Sandler's friends at a camp. Why not?
Then we're going to say Independence Day, the original one, not the sequel. Yeah, Independence Day. What with Will Smith.
We will not go quietly into the night.
Today we celebrate our Independence
Day.
Welcome to Earth. Bow.
Yes.
The Sandlot.
Oh, yeah.
That was interesting. I didn't realize that.
Wow. I didn't think that was a 4th of July one, but
yeah.
Yeah. Nothing
The
like
Patriot.
Okay.
Mel Gibson. There's only 2 Mels in Hollywood. Very different.
Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan. Private Ryan.
Oh yeah, no. If you're gonna do a military movie and do it on 4th of July, that's fitting. That works.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna be shocked at this one.
What?
All right.
Forrest Gump.
Yes. No. I thought Forrest Gump was July 6th.
No, July 4th.
Well, even if it was July 6th, it's still July 4th weekend, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually, believe it or not, I actually had a conversation about this with Jeff Valentino, because one of the new segments that we have here on Tales from the Film Set is we do 5 facts in 1 minute about a movie that was released on that date. Forrest Gump is our July 6th video.
Nice plug.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, dude. We'll see. Today was Superman Returns, 2006. Yesterday was the 19-year anniversary of the release of The Room. Oh, hi, Mark.
Next year's gonna be a problem.
20-year anniversary, dude.
Oh.
Listen, I've already seen Sestero, Philip Haldeman, and Robin Paris's posts about this.
Yeah.
You know, because they were all big in that movie. But you can check them out on the YouTube.
I like that Forrest Gump was the 4th of July movie because if you're gonna go and put out something that's supposed to celebrate America, Forrest Gump really showed like the whole of the U.S. back in those days.
Yeah.
You know, the good and the bad, and seeing it through a pair of innocent eyes. You know, I kind of like the feeling of that.
Can I nerd out and give you two factoids on that?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'll take a drink.
There. Tom Hanks was unconvinced any of the bench scenes would work. He didn't think it was. He wasn't sure if he was actually any of that stuff was going to fly. And he's like, "All right, I'm wrong, dude. I'm wrong." And they were supposed to make a sequel with the second book, but that never transpired. One of the interesting things about that book was Forrest Gump was going to talk about what it's like to become a celebrity named Forrest Gump and have Tom Hanks play you. And I thought that's really kind of smart.
That's some early meta,
dude. Kind of, yeah. You know, and he's like I think one of the first lines in the book was never let Hollywood make a movie about your life.
Like, I like Tom Hanks.
I like Tom Hanks. No.
I liked him when he was a kid and he became the big kid.
I remember.
That was a good movie. Oh God.
That's okay. That's not okay.
Continue. I remember when he kicked Fonzie out the window in Happy Days. Which actually Tom Hanks did do in an episode, by the way. He was a martial artist that was extracting revenge on Fonzie.
I liked the TV show where he wanted to be a woman, but he couldn't be.
With that guy Peter Scolari.
Oh wow, that a lot of these movies are bringing flashbacks to.
Okay, all right. Continue with the movies before we go off.
By the way, that was a terrible impression of Forrest Gump, so run with it.
Born on the 4th of July.
Okay,
well that's evident.
That makes obvious.
If you make a movie called that and you put it out in like Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, no.
I got some more. This one, I'm shocked. I am super shocked.
He's holding it out for dramatic effect here too.
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
No, that fits.
The first one, you mean, right? Not
Yep.
I Still Know, or yeah.
Yeah, with Sarah Michelle Gellar, Jennifer Love Hewitt.
That was. I think that was kind of her star.
A couple of other people with probably 3 phase names.
That was Jennifer Love Hewitt's star movie, right? Not Sister Act 2.
Yeah. Well,
she was in Sister Act 2, by the way.
She was, but Lauryn Hill pretty much upstaged her on that.
Well, see, actually, that was a sequel that 100% never needed to get made. I love Sister Act 1.
Still works.
Sister Act 2 was completely unnecessary.
A League of Their Own.
Yes, that one actually. That, by the way, spoiler. That's going to be one of the ones coming up in a couple of days.
The American President.
Okay, Michael Douglas and Annette Bening.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, Michael J. Fox was in that one, right?
Yes, he was.
Yes.
He was.
Glory.
Okay.
Oh yeah. No. Again, another good war movie.
We watched
Jaws.
What's that?
Jaws.
The pinnacle of summer horror.
1776.
Okay.
That was a musical, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was.
Yeah, no, it's never seen it, don't know the songs, but
Frogs.
Frogs?
I'm sorry, what?
1972. Frogs.
Frogs?
Yeah, Frogs.
What year did that come out?
1972.
So I'm guessing it was a horror movie.
Yeah.
Well, let me look that one up. By the way, I did find out something that I want to basically look. I'm going to be running with July 17th, Jaws 4. It's like, there's my video for that day.
The event where the shark screams. Oh, come on.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Oh, actually, oh my God. The funny thing, I'm looking at the IMDb for Frogs. We only got 5 minutes left. Damn it. Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott 50 years ago.
I mean, he'll complain
Music
about
Man.
the power of the dog, but he'll do frogs. Sorry.
Frogs.
The Music Man.
Okay.
Another musical. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yankee Doodle Danny.
Of course, yes, that's American. Jimmy Cagney.
Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was Cary Grant, wasn't it?
Yep.
No, that was
Where was it?
what's his face? Stewart.
Oh, Jimmy Stewart? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And the last but not least, Mr. Young Lincoln.
That's a new one on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really went backwards there, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
By the way.
So wait,
okay.
Jurassic Park wasn't a 4th of July movie?
No, I thought it was June.
It was June.
Oh. I don't know why I always think it's like in the same league as Jaws, but
Yeah, June 11th.
And it's brought, and ladies and gentlemen, it was brought to you by Google, just to add that in.
Yeah, because Jurassic Park came out literally like 2 weeks before I graduated high school. So, by the way, just for kicks, since we got to wrap this up, there, by the way, is Sam Elliott from 50 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
he looks like a knockoff Warren Beatty.
Kind of does. Well, see, it's weird to see without the mustache.
Yeah, not even like any facial hair. He's got more hair on his chest than he has on his face.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you can see it in the facial features, but by God, it's 50 years ago for frogs.
It's like there's like two different Sam Elliots. There's pre-Roadhouse and post-Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then you have you have all the stuff. See him like on the ranch on Netflix. I don't see that guy turning into that guy.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like some actors when they were younger, unrecognizable compared to what they are now. And it's just probably a matter of how often they were able to be on screen with that look before it got changed.
Well, we found
That's why they always tell us as actors, make sure your headshots are always up to date. Because if you have a particular look, if you have a particular style, you want to be able to showcase that in that instant.
Exactly.
So even something like this, even if I decided to rock this mustache for like another 2 months, once the Top Gun Maverick fever, which now is $1 billion movie, decides to fade away, I'm going to have to take new headshots just with this.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mr. Robert Leckington, by the way, does do headshots. Just want to point that out.
Oh.
So, just figured to mention. So
Fair. I mean, I did a photo shoot for him, so might as well.
All right, there you go. Turn about it. All right, so
it's time to pay back, Rob.
We got to wrap this up at this point. It is now 7:53. But I actually would like to continue doing the summer movie stuff. You had some ones. I'll be honest. I was really, really excited to see like the next one you were going to toss out there. Granted, frogs was not probably ever going to be on the list of things.
Yeah, I did not expect frogs. No.
Yeah. But you know what? I dig that. I really do. So something to consider.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, those two gentlemen, alongside our new friend Ms. Hodge, will be doing Ms. Marvel episode 4 or 5.
4.
4. Okay. So officially on the second half.
Crossing overseas now.
What's that?
We're crossing overseas. We're going back to the homeland for Kamala and family, and we're going to get a history lesson.
Spoilers. But so they're officially in the back half of that. That will be at 5 p.m. Eastern here on Tales from the Film Set on YouTube and also on the Twitch side of things as well. So if you're interested, watch along with them, pick their brain, ask their questions, and if needs be, critique whatever makes you happy. They will be happy to respond. Put you guys in.
Definitely.
So, but that's Ryan. I mean, Ryan's going to be running point on that as he has been doing a fabulous job on it. And by God, do I love the fact that I don't have to deal with it. Dude, you have no idea how nice it is to just be like, I'm going to set up a link tonight and just let you guys roll. I love what you've been doing. I love how you've been running with it, and it takes so much less, so much more pressure off me. So
this is his polite way of saying peace.
Once in a while, as I'm adding more things onto my schedule, which I question if I should do, I do like the fact, like I said, you guys have been handling that thing, and you guys have been phenomenal with it. I saw the viewership numbers. I don't know if you have. Take a look at them. But I'm excited for you guys. I'm happy for you guys, and honestly, I'm happy for the channel as well. So,
well, that's how Ebony and Ivory work.
Yeah. Hey, why I gotta be ivory, man?
Well, maybe. Yeah. Well, living in.
Why? Because you're just so shiny.
But ebony, ivory, and I don't even know what you classify me as. Ebony, ivory,
translucent.
And there
Oh
you go.
wow!
Have a good night, guys. Take care.
You